Hey guys, it's Jess and I am here today with a book haul. It is a kind of big book haul because Book Outlet had their 50% off sale and a bunch of amazing books came out recently and I got a little crazy and went to Barnes & Noble as well. So we'll start with my Book Outlet orders. There were two. The first one I tried to be conservative and the second one I was like, screw it, it's a 50% off sale, let's be crazy. And I got a little crazy. So first we have The Woman Who Walked to Russia by Cassandra Pybus. Anyone who's been with my channel for a while knows that I adore two things. The first is historical fiction and the second is travel memoirs. And this is a travel memoir about, you guessed it, a woman who walks either to or through Russia. Not really sure. I will read it probably next summer. That's generally when I read my travel memoirs because I always get the wanderlust travel bug. And to kind of ward that off, I read a lot of travel memoirs. Then we have the JAP Chronicles, a novel by Isabel Rose. And this is just pretty much a chick flick in a book, so chick lit. And I'm not going to lie, because it was a 50% off sale, a lot of these are cover buys, and I adored that cover. The colors are so cute. So I picked that one up as well. Then I got Shooting Straight by Pierce Morgan. I really enjoy biographies and memoirs of any kind. If you have not read The Year of Yes, do it. It's amazing. One of the books I bought on ebook for my work trip that I took last week, and oh my gosh, it's so good. I highly recommend. But this, along those same lines, Pierce Morgan and life and ideas and words of wisdom. So I will eventually pick this up. Who knows when? Like every book I buy, it's the problem of anyone who loves books. You buy so many books, there is not enough time to read them right now, but eventually I'll get to them. Then we have Missing Julia by Catherine Doon. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what this is about. I get the idea it's a historical fiction, but I'm not sure, but also a cover buy. I love this color blue and I really wanted it in my life, so I bought it. Then we have 10 Letters, The Stories Americans Tell Their President by Eli Saslow. I actually knew about this book back when I was an undergrad and I kept looking for it and I couldn't find it. It is about 10 letters that the president reads per day that are sent to him, and Eli writes about, I assume, what those letters are, or selects 10 of them one day and kind of breaks them apart, talks about how the president's reactions and all that. It just sounds really cool and I really like it. I'm actually a huge political science nerd, and so this will feed that nerd side of me well. Then I have Army Wives by Tanya Bianc. This is actually a true story, based on a true story kind of thing, kind of memoir-esque, if you will, and it sounded really cool. You'll see a pattern here. I kind of went for more nonfiction. I have a lot of fiction on my shelf, and I'm getting into the habit of not wanting to read my fiction and wanting some more real life. So a lot of the books I picked up are along that realm. That was my first Book Outlet batch. Then another nonfiction called Match Day by Brian Yell? I'm not really sure. But this is about graduating medical students and getting matched into, I believe, their internships or their fellowships. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounded really interesting and also in that nonfiction realm. This one is What Nora Knew by Linda Yellen. This is a historical fiction. It sounded interesting at the time. I remember that. I did really love the font on the book. That's what drew me to the book, as well as the old school microphone. It just seemed really cool. So that's why I picked it up. Once again, get to it eventually. This book sounded pretty funny. It's called Gone with a Handsomer Man, and it's Michael Lee West. And this, I believe, is about a newly married couple who then wants to divorce, or the wife wants a divorce, and it has to do with like going to a religious holiday and her not being in that kind of religion and it just being a really big struggle. So I also really adore the cover. I think it's really pretty. I thought it was really cool. Then we have Good for Business. This is by a whole slew of authors right here. This I actually heard about through someone at my work. I am in marketing and sales, and they were talking about the book and how much they loved it, and I saw it on Book Outlet and I was like, yes, must have, gonna pick it up. So that's why I got this one. First of all, let's look at this cover and let's appreciate how friggin' beautiful it is. This is P.O. Box Love by Paola Calavetti. cannot pronounce her name. But this is about a whole slew of letters that get sent to a P.O. box, and mostly that cover is so pretty, and it was a huge reason why I picked up the book. I know, bad booktuber, bad. So many of these are that situation, but so pretty. So this was the first book I looked at, I Just Want My Pants Back by David J. Rawson. This is a novel. I'm not really sure what it's about. Just seemed pretty funny. Loved the mismatched socks. You know, the cover spoke to me. Not that I wear mismatched socks very often, but I just thought it looked cool. It was funny. Blue Taxi by N.S. Cunnings. This, as far as I know, is about a town in Africa, some horrific accident that happens, and how the community develops from that. That's what I understand. Not 100% sure. And another beautiful cover, in my opinion, The Movement of Stars, a novel by Amy Brill. Not really sure what this is about. Pretty sure it's a historical fiction just based on the outfit on the front, and I will never say no to a historical fiction because I have a problem that does not need a solution, and it is historical fiction and my love for it. So I will continue to buy historical fiction books that I know nothing about and continue to sit them on my shelf and eventually read them before the end of my life. Alright, then we have the last 5 that I picked up from Book Outlet. A Girl Called Fearless by Catherine Linka. And I remember reading the synopsis for this, but I do not remember what it was about. But it sounded really cool. I remember that, because the cover is not particularly calling to me, but the title I really liked. So, hopefully in the near future I'll be able to pick it up and actually read it. Near future meaning within the next year. Fingers crossed. Then we have Eve and Adam by Michelle Grant and Catherine Applegate. I love this cover. Look at the shiny. That was a huge reason I bought it. Don't really know what it's about. Love and adore the cover. And I remember hearing a couple booktubers talk about this a while ago and how much they loved it. So I hope I love it too. Then we have Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. This book I picked up because I've been waiting for it to be on Book Outlet, and it just so happened to be 15% off. Has awards, has tons of praise on Book Outlet, and I need to read this. This is actually on my short list. I have a long list and a short list of books. This is on my short list of books to read here very, very soon, meaning the next 3 months or so. Then we have Secret, by Lindsay Smith. I love this. An empty mind is a safe mind. Not that I agree with it, I just love the way it looks. Pretty sure this is some sort of conspiracy novel about a conspiracy, overthrown government, all that kind of stuff. They do crazy stuff. So, and love the cover, adore the cover actually, and I really like the title. The title of the book is really cool. The font is super cool. I'm excited to read it, but it is on my long list, so eventually. Then we have Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, I think. This I am picking up because there was a this is, I believe, a companion novel or a series. It's the first, and the next one is, I want to say From the Pages or something, and I saw a small snippet of a review from the Pages or Off the Pages, something like that. It's the one where the book is open and the person is jumping out, the little silhouette is jumping out. It's that book. But this is the first, and I really want to read that other one because everyone who was reviewing it just adored it. So I really want to get into this one. And the last book I picked up from Book Outlet is Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Laviria. I have heard mixed things about this. Some people love it. Some people say it is exactly like, that John Green book. I don't remember what it's called. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's the blue one. The girl with cancer. I don't remember, but I've heard it's very, very similar to that. So this is long listed because of that, because, well, clearly the title of the book did not stick with me, but the plot of the book did, and I don't do well when my plots are too similar, too close together. So I'm going to wait till I really kind of get some space from that book and kind of forget the main plot points before I dig into this one. Then we have my crazy Barnes & Noble day. So I went into Barnes & Noble to buy Winter. And sadly, they did not have Winter. The entire store was sold out of Winter, which is just completely crazy to me. That's the sign of an awesome book. But my wonderful boyfriend, guess what he did? I was complaining about it, and then I came home to a copy of Winter, and I am reading it. I started it today. I am so excited. One thing I did notice, the pages of this book are way thinner than the last ones. They're not quite like what I call Bible pages, where the pages of a Bible are very thin, very flimsy. These aren't quite that thin, but they are pretty thin. Like if you used a highlighter, I'm pretty sure it would sink right through. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm already excited. I'm 2 chapters in and I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. I'm going to have like one of those cramathons. Friday night, this is my date for Friday night, right here. And so, back to my story. Because I went to Barnes & Noble and they didn't have winter, thank you, Cody, for picking me up winter. So excited. I went a little crazy. And initially I was like, all right, I came for winter and I came for November 9. I did get November 9 by Colleen Hoover. So I did pick that up. November 9, Colleen Hoover. I have heard so many good things. This was released the same day as winter, which was November 10. I am hoping there's a reason the book titled November 9 was released on November 10. I'm hoping that's written into the plot. Otherwise, why the heck didn't she release it on November 9? I won't know. But this is shortlisted. All my books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble are shortlisted. They will be read ASAP. My shortlist is growing into a longer list, but I'm super excited to read this. Very, very, very excited. Then I picked up Illuminate. I am so, so excited. This is Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. The cover of this book, can we appreciate how awesome this cover is? I am so excited about the cover. The cover is probably one of my favorite parts. Okay, so from what I understand, this is about an alien invasion. All I read was this first paragraph, okay? This morning, Katie thought breaking up with Ezra was the hardest thing she'd have to do. This afternoon, her planet was invaded. What? Sounds cool. Need to get into it. And this cover, talk about amazing marketing, because this cover is what made me buy the book. It's what made me pick up the book. And the fact that it comes through the actual naked is awesome. Adore this idea. I think this should be done more. Then I picked up Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I have only read the first in the Grisha trilogy, but I've heard this can be read as a standalone. Also, the pages are so cool. They're black. I've never seen that. I think it's super cool. Really, really impressed by that. But this I'm probably going to read before I continue the Grisha trilogy. I have heard, not confirmed, I will let you know, but I have heard that is for a more adult audience, whereas the Grisha trilogy was definitely a middle grade kind of read from what I've heard. This is not me, so I'll let you know what I think about that. But I love this. 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Sounds so cool. Super excited. Then back to my nonfiction. I got I Am Malala by Malala. Oh my god, I cannot say her last name. Yousafzai? I'm not 100% sure. Please don't hate me. But this is about this Malala who was shot by Taliban. I am excited to read her story and hear about what happened to her and how she stood up for her rights and the consequences of that, and now where she is today. And I picked up a book I am super excited about, which is Dumplin by Julie Murphy. The reason I'm so excited about this book is because I have seen it, and I held off on buying it. I was hoping to find it on Book Outlet or something, but they had it on the 20% off rack at Barnes & Noble, and I am a Barnes & Noble member, so I get an extra 10%, which means it was 30% off, and I love it. I love how this like matte finish is really pretty. I adore it. So on the back here, so it's a little silhouette of her, I assume her, in a bathing suit, and it says, "There's something about swimsuits that make you think you've got to earn the right to wear them. Really, the criteria is simple. Do you have a body? Put a swimsuit on it." And last but certainly not least, we have A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis. I picked up this book because of a handful of booktubers out there, you know who you are,